أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. وإذ قال موسى لفتاه آتنا غداءنا لقد لقينا من سفرنا هذا نصبا. We are at we're going to go in verse 60. I'll start a little bit early, like from 60, verse 60. وإذ قال موسى لفتاه لا أبرح حتى أبلغ مجمع البحرين أو أمضي حقبا فلما بلغا مجمع بينهما نسيا حوتهما فاتخذ سبيله في البحر سربا فلما جاوزا قال لفتاه آتنا غداءنا لقد لقينا من سفرنا هذا نصبا قال أرأيت إذ أوينا إلى الصخرة فإني نسيت الحوت وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان أن أذكره واتخذ سبيله في البحر عجبا قال ذلك ما كنا نبغي فارتدا على آثارهما قصصا فوجدا عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا وكيف تصبر على ما لم تحط به خبرا قال ستجدني إن شاء الله صابرا ولا أعصي لك أمرا قال فإن اتبعتني فلا تسألني عن شيء حتى أحدث لك منه ذكرا. So from 60 to 70. Go ahead.
Moses said to his servant, I will not rest until I reach the place where the two seas meet, even if it takes me years. But when they reached the place where the two seas meet, they had forgotten all about their fish, which made its way into the sea and swam away. They journeyed on, and then Moses said to his servant, Give us our morning meal. This journey of ours is very tiring. And the servant said, Remember when we were resting by the rock? I forgot the fish. Satan made me forget to pay attention to it, and it must have made its way into the sea. How strange. Moses said, Then that was the place we were looking for. So the two turned back, retraced their footsteps, and found one of our servants, a man to whom we had granted our mercy and whom we had given knowledge of our own. Moses said to him, May I follow you so that you can teach me some of the right guidance you have been taught. The man said, You will not be able to bear with me patiently. How could you be patient in matters beyond your knowledge? Moses said, God willing, you will find me patient. I will not disobey you in any way. The man said, If you follow me then, do not query anything I do before I mention to you myself.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه بعد. Can I request you guys to sit all together here? It's kind of doing my neck to go all the way here. Just if you need the wall, you can. That's fine, or at least that's fine. That's fine. In this wall, that's fine. But just عقب against that. No, just go against the wall. That's fine. Yeah, against the wall. But just I need to make my easy to look at you guys. Sorry, I don't know if we have any sisters that you want to come in. They are welcome now. This story between Musa and Al-Khadir, I told you before what was the point, even though they never asked about the story, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned it. in the middle of mentioning other stories, the story of the young men who hide in the cave, and also the story of Dhul Qarnayn, which is going to come next. Who is Al-Khadir? Who is Al-Khadir? Who is that person that Musa met and had this story with? Al-Khadir, okay, you can say it with kasr al-dad and fath al-kha, Khadir. And you can also with Khidr, with kasr al-kha wa taskin al-dad. So you can pronounce it two ways here, Khadir or Khidr. This is another way to pronounce it. So you can do this way or that way. So Khadir, Khidr, Khadr, three ways. Khadir, Khidr, Khadr. Fatha on the kha, kasra on the kha, both ways. And you can have sukun on the dad, fatha on the dad, or kasra on the dad. So that's three ways of pronouncing this word, and all correct. Is this a name? No, it is a nickname. It comes from the word green, okay? And what is his name? I don't want to bother you with all this debate over his name because there is no proof. We don't know what his name. Does it make any difference? No. We're not going to benefit anything from knowing his name. And that's why the Quran never pay attention to these details, because again and again and again, I'll keep saying, Al-Quran is not a history book. There's a historical information in it, but it's not a history book. It's a book of guidance. So that's why we only focus on things that benefit you. Why he was called Al-Khadir? Why was called Al-Khadir, or the green? Okay? This came in Hadith al-Nabi Sallallahu, not because he himself was green. Okay? People, even somebody was telling me, is Al-Khadir. There's a Sufi guy here in America wrote an article talking about Star Wars. And he said the Star Wars is based on Al-Khadir and Musa's legend. And he said Al-Khadir is that little green creature, what I call Yoda. He said that's Al-Khadir, which is ridiculous. I read the whole article. It's a ridiculous article. But first of all, who said that Al-Khadir was green himself? Okay, why he was called the green? Abu Hurairah reported that the Prophet ﷺ said, and this hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, إنما سمي الخضر أنه جلس على فروة بيضاء فإذا هي تهتز من خلفه خضراء. He sat on farwa, white farwa, and it turned to be green. What farwa? Some people said al-farwa was a carpet, okay, or a piece of cloth that he sat on it, turned to be green. But many others said no. It is farwa, it referred to a piece of land. He was sitting in an area, and this area was dry grass, was yellow, okay, and dead grass, or like there is no grass at all. And the moment he left, this is turned to be so green, filled with grass. And you will find many scholars said that that's what it meant, like Al-Khattabi rahimahullah and Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar in his explanation Sahih al-Bukhari. And Ikrimah said, whenever he used to sit, whatever around him, it will be green. Anytime he sit on the grass and the floor, the area will turn to be green. And Mujahid said, كان إذا صلى خضر ما حوله. Any area that he used to pray in it, that will turn to be green. And this is something like a miracle for him. Al-Khadir, this one that Musa had this story with, we're going to talk about, was he a prophet or was he just a righteous man? There is a whole entire debate between the scholars about this, and each group really have very good argument. I don't know how much details you guys interested to know, but Al-Qurtubi, Al-Nawawi, Al-Alusi, Al-Razi claimed, all of them mentioned that Al-Khadir was a prophet, and they claimed that this is the position of the majority of the Muslim scholars. قالوا أن هذا قول الجمهور. The majority of the scholars and the interpreter of the Quran will go with the opinion that Al-Khadir was a prophet. In the other hand, you see people like Imam al-Baghawi rahimahullah, who wrote a book in Tafseer, beautiful book, and Al-Ba'li, Ibn Kathir, the famous Mufassir, said that he is not a prophet. He's not a prophet. And they said also that this is the position of the majority of the scholars. They claim that the majority, usually when people say the majority, it's according to their experience, their own research. So they found more books that say that, so they say it's the majority. It's sometimes relevant, this word majority. I want to say that Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, for instance, Ibn Taymiyyah, in certain times, he mentioned he is a prophet in his book. But other places, he mentioned that he was not a prophet. And I found Ibn Taymiyyah said both. And I don't know which one is the latest position. But it shows you that he was himself not sure about which opinion to follow. Okay? And I would say that those who claim that An-Nawawi said that he's a prophet, I'm not sure. An-Nawawi rahimahullah never actually chose the opinion that he was a prophet. When An-Nawawi spoke about Al-Khadir, he did not make tarjih. He did not choose one opinion over another. The only thing An-Nawawi said, he refuted the opinion that Al-Khadir is an angel. Because some people said, no, it's not a human. Al-Khadir is an angel who Allah sent to Musa alayhi salam. But An-Nawawi refuted that, and that's a very weak opinion, never been a popular opinion. What's the evidence? Those who said that he is wali, he is a wali, a group of people you have to pay attention to them. A lot of Sufis claim that Al-Khadir was a wali. He's a righteous man, like a saint. They did not like the idea that he is a prophet at all. And by the way, a lot of Sunni scholars took the position that he was not a prophet just to counter the claim of the Sufis. Why the Sufi fascinated? Some Sufis would be so fascinated with Al-Khadir. Because one of the things that you see among some Sufi traditions, they would say, not all of them, but some of them they will, like what Ibn Arabi, for example, said, مقام النبوة في برزخ فويق الرسول ودون الولي. They said that the prophet is less status comes under the wali. The awliya, higher level than the prophet, higher level than the anbiya. And this is something that's not the common belief among the mainstream Sunnis. Okay, they will not agree with that. They will say, no, prophets are on the top. You cannot put a wali. So one of the things that they used to support their claim is Al-Khadir. They said, see, Al-Khadir higher than Musa. He knows more than Musa, and he was a wali. Okay, so they said if his status is better, but that's not true. Actually, there is an agreement between the ulama. It doesn't matter Al-Khadir is a prophet or not. Musa is better than Al-Khadir, even if you say he's a prophet. Because Musa is one of the Ulil Azm min al-Rusul, one of the 5 messengers with the greatest will, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favored them above all other messengers and prophets. Who are the 5? Anybody knows? Nuh, Ibrahim, Musa, Isa, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. These are the top 5 messengers and prophets. So here we say that this claim, it is unacceptable. Also, some of the things that you will say, some Sufi would say, that Al-Wali, Allah might give him ilm al-ghayb. And you will see some of these extreme said that Al-Awliya, they go to the safe tablets of Allah, Al-Lawh al-Mahfuz, and they change in it whatever they like. Allah give them the power to erase and confirm and change. So Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, he has access to the safe tablet. You will find some group will say crazy things like that. And what are the evidence, or one of the things that they always bring it up? Al-Khadr, that he is so powerful that he knows the unseen, that God give him access to the world of the unseen. Huh? Ignorant. This is an ignorant. Those who said that he is a righteous man and a saint, only among the mainstream Sunni, like for example Al-Baghawi, Al-Ba'ali, Ibn Kathir, they said, wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give Al-Khadr access to the the world of the unseen. Also, he only gave him access to certain things about the future that no one else knows. Very limited access. Allah, and not access, Allah gave him information about the future. He didn't give him the whole entire ilm al-ghayb. Even Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam have mentioned a lot of things will happen in the future. But does the Prophet sallallahu knows all the unseen, all the future? No. وَلَوْ كُنْتُ أَعْلَمُ الْغَيْبِ لَاسْتَكْثَرْتُ مِنَ الْخَيْرِ, Allah said in the Quran about Muhammad sallallahu saying, if I know the future, I will claim a lot of good. But I don't know the future. But he knows from the future what Allah taught him, what Allah have allowed him to know or inform him about it. And one of the evidence that those people have that they claim Al-Khadr is not a prophet, they said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave him information about certain things even if he's not a prophet. لكن الله أعطاه من الكشف أعطاه من this is a very Sufi terminology. I'm just using it here to say, even if we say that Allah gave him the ability to see things from the future, it is limited. It's like a karama. It is a miracle that Allah gave it to him and have give him this special treatment. And if he was a prophet, Al-Quran would have mentioned him as what? Prophet. And that's what Al-Tabari rahimahullah and Al-Sa'di, the modern Mufassir, and his student Ibn Uthaymeen, all of them said that he is not a prophet because Allah never referred to him as prophet. He referred to him as Abdan min ibadillah, one of Allah's servant, ذو علم ورحمة, has knowledge and mercy. But those who said, no, he is a prophet, and to be honest with you, there is a larger number of scholars that he's a prophet, like Ibn al-Salah, Abu Amr, Al-Imam Al-Qurtubi, as I said earlier, Ibn Taymiyyah, once he mentioned it. They said, Ibn Hajar also said he's a prophet. They said that Allah said in the Quran, آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما. We gave him a mercy from us. That's a very special mercy to him. What's that special mercy? When you look at the word rahmah, when Allah said, I give my mercy to this person, usually it refers to prophethood. وأنزل الله عليك الكتاب إيش في القرآن وقالوا in Surah Al-Zukhruf, Allah said, وقالوا لولا نزل هذا القرآن على رجل من القريتين Anybody knows? عظيم أهم يقسمون رحمة ربك. Here, when they say, hey, why the Quran was not revealed to one of the great leaders of these tribes? Then Allah said, are they the one who control Allah's mercy? Here, mercy referring to what? Referring to the prophet. Yani, are they controlling who Allah chooses to be prophet or not? Okay? وَمَا كُنْتَ تَرْجُو أَنْ يُلْقَى إِلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً مِّن رَبِّكَ. So, Al-Kitab, the book, was given to you as a mercy. Here, mercy referring to him being chosen to be a prophet in Surah Al-Qasas. Okay? Also, referring to someone as have knowledge from Allah, usually it is a description of a prophet. When Allah described Yusuf, He said about him, وَإِنَّهُ لَذُو عِلْمٍ لِمَا عَلَّمْنَاهُ. We taught him. That's a very common way in the Quran. وَأَنزَلَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَعَلَّمَكَ مَا لَمْ تَكُنْ تَعْلَمُ. He taught you. So this is something very common in the Quran. When you use rahmah and ilm in this format, referring to someone who's been choosing to be a prophet. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, آتَيْنَاهُ رَحْمَةً مِنْ عِنْدِنَا وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ مِنْ لَدُنَّا عِلْمًا, goes in the same line of verses that's speaking about prophets and messengers. Okay? Also, one very clear evidence that Al-Khadr said, وَمَا فَعَلْتُهُ عَنْ أَمْرِي. Whatever I did, Ya Musa, I didn't do it from my own. So why he did what he did? It is because Allah revealed this to him. And we know Allah do not reveal to any human unless He revealed to a prophet. لا يوحي الله بشرع وأمر إلا للأنبياء والرسل. That's what we know. So be very careful from those who claim that he is a wali, a righteous person, and then they come to the conclusion that awliya is higher level. Al-Qurtubi mentioned that. I'm not saying that. Al-Qurtubi mentioned that about some of the Sufis, the extreme Sufis at that time. And they said that the wali, he knows the inside, while the Nabi knows the outside. So Musa only looked at outside, while Al-Khadr looked to the inside. He knows the batin, okay? And no doubt that this is unacceptable, because the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam agreed that the best of humanity are the prophets. وَإِنَّهُمْ عِنْدَنَا لَمِنَ الْمُصْطَفَيْنَ الْأَخْيَارِ الله يصطفي من الملائكة رسلا ومن الناس الله أعلم حيث يجعل رسالته. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who's to choose to carry his message. Allah said He chosen the prophet. They are the best people chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not because Al-Khadr knows things that Musa doesn't know, make Al-Khadr better than Musa. That's right. Or you think that makes him better? Is it necessarily? If I know something Umar doesn't know, does that make me better than Umar? Yeah. I'm just kidding. It doesn't necessarily mean that. That's right. Okay? If I come to Muhammad and I tell Muhammad, for example, I tell him something about English literature. Would that make me knows about this subject? He doesn't know. He never heard that before. Okay? Which is hard to find. But if I did that, would that make me better than him in understanding English literature? No. He knows Shakespeare like the back of his hand. That's something I don't know. He's better than me in this area. So not because I know one thing about him, it doesn't make me better than him. That's right. If this is the case, we should say Al-Hudhud, the bird of Musa, of Sulaiman, better than Sulaiman, because he told Sulaiman, أَحَطُّ بِمَا لَمْ تُحِطْ بِهِ. I know what you don't know. So if Al-Khadr knows something Musa doesn't know, doesn't make him better. Like Al-Hudhud is not better than Sulaiman because he knows about something that Sulaiman doesn't know about it. Okay? And Musa alayhi salam followed Al-Khadr. Does that make Al-Khadr better than Musa? No. He followed Al-Khadr because he followed what Allah said in the Quran. وَقُلْ رَبِّ زِدْنِي عِلْمًا. Increase my knowledge. That's why we have no doubt that Musa is better than Al-Khadr. Ya Musa, Allah said in the Quran, Ya Musa, O Musa, إِنِّي اصْطَفَيْتُكَ عَلَى النَّاسِ بِرِسَالَاتِي وَبِكَلَامِي. Allah have chosen Musa over all humanity, على الناس جميعا, all humanity, and that includes Al-Khadr. I've chosen you over them. So that's very clear evidence, Surah Al-A'raf, verse 144. And uh, some people use this story also. Some extreme Sufi group said that al-wali, the righteous person, when you reach to certain level of iman, the Sharia rules doesn't apply to you anymore. You can even go against the Sharia. Like what Al-Khadr did. He killed, he destroyed, he did things against the Sharia of Musa. We said, hey, hold on, you guys wrong. Why? Didn't he do that? Didn't he kill the boy? Didn't he do this? This is Sharia. Musa said it's haram to kill, haram to destroy properties. Didn't he destroy the ship? We said, yeah, but Al-Khadr is not entitled to the Sharia of Musa. The law of Musa is only to whom? To the children of Bani Israel. And Al-Khadr is not among them. Musa was not sent to every human being on the earth. He was only sent with certain rules to the Bani Israel. Al-Khadr has his own Sharia. He's not a follower of Musa. Okay? And one of the amazing things, I'm not going to go into too details, but because this is something, unfortunately, you might come across this issue today online or maybe. So I just want to make sure that you have an idea about it. That there is people have this kind of ideologies. But one, the most strange thing, okay, that among the Sunni scholars, بين علمائنا نحن أهل السنة, there is a very interesting debate, even to be exist, which is Al-Khadr alive today or he's dead? Okay? It's crazy, isn't it? It's interesting that Al-Qurtubi rahimahullah said, the majority said he's dead. But Al-Qurtubi ended up in his own research saying, but he's still alive. He chose the opinion of the minority. That he's still alive. And Nawawi rahimahullah said he's still alive, and that's the position of the majority of the Muslim scholars. And Ibn Salah said, هو حي عند جماهير العلماء والعامة معهم على ذلك. Shafi'i scholar, great scholar, he said that the majority of the ulama would say that he's still alive, and he is the awam like this. And no, we mentioned something similar. No, we mentioned that about Ibn Salah and his tahdhib. Al-Bukhari rahimahullah was very furious about this. And a group of Ahlul Hadith, ulama al-Hadith, they said this is not acceptable. He is absolutely not true that he's alive. He doesn't have the people say that he will live until Isa comes. And people said that he will be among those who will fight the false Messiah, Al-Masih al-Dajjal. Okay? Even some people said that he will be that young man who will walk to the false Messiah to challenge him, and he would say to him, I challenge you to kill me, and he will not be able to kill him. Some people said that was Al-Khadr. And among them, one of the shuyukh of Imam Muslim, rahimahullah. So, going back to the point, Al-Bukhari, rahimahullah, said, no, he could not be alive. Why? He mentioned some evidence. I don't know how strong his evidence are, but like one of the things that he mentioned, that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا تبقى بعد 100 عام نفس منفوسة. And Nabi sallallahu told his companion, after 100 years, there is no a single living human being will remain, will die. After 100 years, all people who lived in my time will be dead. Okay? So they said if Al-Khadr was alive and he's a human being, he will be dead by that time. After 100 years. So impossible for him to live. But to be honest with you, this hadith is not very strong argument because Ya'juj wa Ma'juj are alive and they are humans. And they are alive since when? So that's not very argument. But one of the biggest, strongest argument Ibn al-Qayyim mentioned, if Al-Khadr was alive and he's human, That means he must what? Can you figure out? Huh? No, those who said he will never die until the day of judgment. Ya salam alayk, Allah yaftah alaykum. They said, if it is true that he's alive, must come to the Prophet ﷺ to declare his Islam. Because Nabi ﷺ was sent to everybody. And the Nabi ﷺ said, if I'm alive, Musa will come and follow me. And when Isa comes in the end of the days, he will follow the Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's right. So, and Allah subhanahu took mithaq from all the prophets. If he was sent during their time, they will follow him. So if he was alive, if that claim is correct, he should have been among those who come to give bay'ah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah said in the Quran, very clearly, He said, وَمَا جَعَلْنَا لِبَشَرٍ مِّن قَبْلِكَ الْخُلْدِ أَفَإِن مِتَّ فَهُمُ الْخَالِدُونَ. Allah said in the Quran, we have not made any human before you live forever. If you die, you think anyone else will live forever? That's a very clear evidence to show you that it's impossible to claim that Al-Khadr is living, or who will live for until the end of the days. Al-Imam Ahmad rahimahullah said, you know where he was asked about this concept. He's alive, he never died, blah, blah, blah. Then he said, إِنَّمَا أَلْقَى هَذَا شَيْطَانٌ. Shaitan give that idea. The shaitan play with some people's head and threw that on them. Otherwise, there is no base to this. It's just a shame, for even to be an opinion, to say that he's living forever. So Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, and he said, he's alive. قال من أحال على غائب لم ينصف. He said, okay, go ask him. Who would know that he's alive? You're referring to something impossible to verify. That's right. It's like the Shia today when they say, we have 5 ambassadors are in constant contact with Al-Mahdi. Like Al-Mahdi, he is alive and he might be one of you. I don't know. He may be Adam. He lived in this century in a shape of a young African and American person. That's what they say. They said this Al-Mahdi. He's like that. So every generation, he comes and he lives and take a shape of some man. And he walk on earth. Since the day he disappeared. Until the end of the day. And he communicates with humanity through 5 ambassadors. I'm not making this up, guys. This is not something I invent. I was in DePaul University, Chicago, listening to a lecture by a Professor Noor, I still remember his name, a professor in physics. Okay? And he was saying this thing in his talk. So after he finished, I came and I told him, Assalamu alaikum, Professor Noor. And he said, Wa alaikum assalam. And I said, I want you to know, and also they believe that these 5 ambassadors only communicate with those who are known as Ayatullah. They cannot communicate with any person. If you Ayatullah, he talk to you. So Ayatullah Sistani, Ayatullah Madri Ish, these Ayatullah that in Iran, and this is the people that they can contact the 5 ambassadors. So I came to this Professor Noor, and I said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi alaykum. Assalamu alaikum. I said, thank you, very informative talk and stuff like that. And I give him the credit. He said, I'm not specialized, but none of our mullahs was available, so I came to talk about the theology. Very well educated person. Anyway, so I told him, congratulations. He said, thank you. On what? I said, you're Ayatullah. He said, what? I said, I'm one of the 5 ambassadors. So he looked at me. He doesn't know what to react. And he said, congratulations, you just became Ayatollah. Then he said, oh, okay. I'm not saying that this is necessarily what is you should believe in. I'm just telling you what's in our books. I said, no, I want to confirm it for you. He said, you joking. And with the most serious face I can ever have, I was very serious. He said, I'm not joking. I just came to tell you that you deserve to be one of them. And from now on, we're going to keep in touch. Then he said, I got it. He just told me that I got it. I got your point. I said, I'm glad that you did. There's no way to verify that. What is the ayatollah, what is the ambassador supposed to do? Turn his fingers to be like candlelight? You know, what is going to be like candles? What I'm going to do to make sure that I'm an ambassador? So there's no way to verify this. So it's the same thing that Imam Ahmad rahimahullah said, "Man ahala ala ghaib lam yunsaf." And Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah said, he's dead. And those who said that he lived forever is wrong. And Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah rejected that. Ankara hada. Okay? And just for the record, Ibn Taymiyyah at one point in his life, he said, according to some narration, that he lived forever. Because I'll tell you why this came. This was some of the ulama based their argument on weak narrations. Okay? And there is narration narrated by Ibn Dahya that he is alive. And they claim this, that the Prophet ﷺ said that. So that's why the ulama said that. But Ibn al-Jawzi rahimahullah said that all these narrations are fabricated. And he wrote a book, it's called عجالة المنتظر في شرح حال الخضر. Okay? So be very careful from people come to you say, حدثني الخضر. Al-Khadr met me and told me this and that. And there is people say that. Anyway, here the story starts from the middle that Musa said to his servant. His servant here is Yusha ibn Nun, who's a prophet, as I told you before. And Musa said to him that I will continue traveling until I reach to the area where the two seas meet each other. Some said that this is in Tangier, we said that like that day, in Morocco. And some said no, it is somewhere in Turkey. And the opinion that I think make more sense, it is where the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea kind of meet each other, or the two seas of, you know how the Red Sea split, you have Khalij al-Aqaba, in that area where it is Suez and this area of Egypt, like somewhere in Sinai, okay, where two seas meet each other. That's one of the opinions. It's kind of good, makes sense from a geographic point of view, like that's where he lived, that's where he stayed. Anyway, so the story is simple. Allah give him ayah, He give him a sign. He said, you take with you a hoot. Hoot, it means a fish. And what it seems to be that this fish is some of people said it is the big hoot, the whale. And he has that strength as a prophet to carry and to grab this. But I don't think this is very good because it was in a container in Maktal, in a container that, like, you know how the picnic, what do you call the picnic bag? What do you call bag? Picnic basket. Something similar to that, like made of the same material. They used to have it when they travel. So it was in it. It could be the small fish. No, was a good-sized fish because in one of the narration, they were eating from it. So it's not only dead and mumallaha, dry fish. When you put salt and you dried it out, so they're eating from it. And Allah told him at one point, this will turn. Musa was told that. Musa was told that, not anyone else. He was told that the sign is that this fish will go back to life and it will leave you. So when it comes back to life, it didn't say it leave you, when it comes back to life, this is the point where you're going to find Al-Khadr, where the two seas meet each other, because that's a huge area. So they travel, And Musa alayhi salam, they ate half of the fish, and some narration said, same part of it, and he went to sleep. Okay? And after that, they walked. But when Musa alayhi salam was asleep, in one of the narration, they were sleeping next to a rock. And next to this rock, there were a fountain, water gushing out. It's called Ma'ul Hayah, the water of life. And that's where this idea, some narration, which is fabricated narration, that Al-Khadr drank from that water, which has made him alive and youth, the what do you call the youth, fountain of youth. You know, that today in some of these legends talk about it, similar to that concept. But anyway, there is nothing in the hadith said that whoever drink, that Al-Khadr drank from it or anybody consumed from it. But part of this water, or it starts basically gushing, and some of the water touched the dead fish. And it went back to life, jumped out of that container, and it started moving on the shore. La ilaha illallah. Shay, I just imagine that. Something you ate from, something already dead. And it started moving, toward the water. And who saw that? Yusha ibn Nun. When he saw that, it's just unbelievable to see that with your eyes. Ajaba. This is amazing. And it start moving. And in one of the narrations in the Hadith Sahih Bukhari, that it became in the mud. You know how the shore didn't jump yet inside the water, but in that, and it was like having dig for itself kind of hole, and it stayed there in the wet place with the mud. Anyway, Yusha saw this, but a shaitan made him forget completely about it. Even though it's an amazing thing, but the shaitan made him forgot about it completely, forgot to mention it. So they traveled together, and Musa alayhi salam said to him, let us eat the rest of the fish. He said, you remember when we rested, had a nap at the rock? That's what happened, and I'm so sorry. We forgot about it. Question, when Al-Quran said we forgot about it, who forgot? Musa or Yusha ibn Nun? But why Al-Quran said we forgot? Both of us forgot about it. Because Musa forgot before he left to ask him about how's the fish? Is it still alive? It's still dead? It's still anything happened to the fish? So Musa didn't check on the fish. And Yusha forgot to mention what happened to the fish. So when he said that to him, he said, let's go back. فَارْتَدَّ عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمَا قَصَصًا. They went back on following the same footsteps that they left on the shore, on the beach, and looking for the same area where they left where they had the nap, or where that rock is. And when they reached there, Musa saw the fish. La ilaha illallah. He saw the fish on the shore. So Musa started following the fish, and the fish started walking. And here there is no clarity. Was the fish outside? Did the fish came from inside the water? And some narration said that, but I don't know the authenticity of it. Most likely it's not authentic narration. That every time this fish will go inside the water, whatever behind it, it will be a rock, a solid path. Until he reached an island, and that's where he found Al-Khadr. But this is, I don't think it's an authentic. What we have in authentic narration of Bukhari and others, that this led him to a rock, and when the fish disappeared, he basically looked back and he saw next to the rock Al-Khadr resting. And that's what he met him, and basically the detail of the story started. So I'll go over it just the verse by verse. But when they reached to the junction between them, they forgot their fish. They forgot. I told you why they. And it took its course into the sea, slipping away. Okay? And I said to you that the sign was that this fish come back to life. to show the mushrikeen, who are listening to the story, that Allah capable of resurrecting anything from dead. A lot of people deny resurrection. Say, how can Allah resurrect us after we die? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them a real example of how Allah resurrected this fish from dead after some part of it even eaten. And after they put a salt on it and dried it out. But still Allah brought it back to life. And when they had passed beyond it, Musa said to his boy, bring our morning meal. We have certainly suffered in this, our journey, much of fatigue. It was like a hard traveling. So he told him, see, when we basically took the nap at the rock, indeed I forgot the fish. And none made me forget it except Shaitan, that I should mention it. And it took its course into the sea amazingly. It was something amazing. You might ask, something so strange like this, how come he didn't mention it? It doesn't happen every day, that's right. Some ulama said it's actually was not something very strange at that time to see this kind of miracle. At that time, Musa displayed miracles greater than this in front of the children of Israel. So he thought it's one of these miracles that Musa had. He didn't think it's a big deal. It's like the way he turned the stick to be a snake, all these miracles that he has with the Pharaoh and Pharaohs and how the water is split in front of. So he thought this is one of Musa's miracles, not a big deal. I'm sure Musa knows about it. That's why he didn't. Shaitan make him forget about it. Some said no, actually Shaitan blocked his memory from it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. The point is that he forgot to mention it to Musa. And they basically, Musa said, that's what we were seeking, for this fish to go back to life. So they returned following their footprints. And so they will know exactly where to go back. And he said, and they found servant from among our servants, to whom we had given mercy from us, and had taught him from us a certain knowledge. وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ مِن لَدُنَّا عِلْمًا. A servant, referring to Musa, to Al-Khadr, as Allah referred also to Muhammad as a servant. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا. Subhana, the one who took his servant Muhammad in the journey of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. Anyway, this mercy that Allah gave it to him, said it's the prophethood. Okay, it's the prophethood. Said the mercy is that he lives very long life without being affected by age. Like he lived and he kept his strength all his life. And Ibn Abbas said the mercy was that Allah gave him, and the ilm was, the knowledge is, that Allah have given him the ability to know part of the unseen of the future. One thing also been said I thought is very unique to mention and to end with it, that Ar-Rahmah, the mercy that Allah have given him, you know what? أنه كان في معزل عن الناس يحتاجونه ولا يحتاج إليهم. Allah's mercy on him that he made him live independently. People need him, but he doesn't need anyone. That's a great rahmah, that Allah make you a person that you don't need others. You're not in need of other people you don't depend on others while others depend on you. If you have that, this is a rahmah min Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him from him a knowledge. And this is something, inshallah, we can continue discussing. Next week is going to be mainly Ramadan, that's right? Inshallah. So, how you guys want to do this in Ramadan? if you want to do it in Ramadan. Muhammad Saad said, don't do it in Ramadan. What do you guys think? Okay, how about, question, how about if we do it in Ramadan at 7 p.m.? Same day. We break fast 8:30. So we do it from 7 to 8. If you want to eat in your home, you can go home. If you want to, eat in the masjid, you only have 30 minutes. What do you guys, those who are in favor of keeping it to Wednesday at 7 p.m., can you raise your hand? Sisters, brothers, if you think 7 p.m. on Wednesday, okay. Those who say, no, we just put a cap on it until after Ramadan. Okay. So, those who think it's better to be in the weekend during, like after Asr or something like that. Anybody like 5 o'clock? Okay, so it's gone. It's going to be Wednesday at 7 p.m. That's the majority. And the minority follow the majority. So I'll see you guys next Wednesday, inshallah, at 7 p.m. Can you imagine? You are fasting. You are in a class of knowledge. You are making tadabbur al-Quran. You are like making tafseer. What kind of, you are gathering with your brothers. What kind of more reward do you want? Alhamdulillah. Thank you.